Thank you to Yanmar for bringing us this video series. Don't settle for less when you can have more. Yanmar's tractors are designed to work as hard as you do for a lifetime. Strengthen your dealership with Yanmar today.
So as we think about our core values, for core values, we only have 3 or 4 things that we're ever going to define as our core values, right? And these are the things that we are willing to lose our customers over. Our core values have to have an action attached to them. And that's why it's important to think of it in the terms of what we're willing to lose customers over. I have up here what our core values are at BCI. We have excellence, integrity, and performance. And if you were to ask any of our employees what our core values were, they would be able to tell you, and they would tell you what it actually means to have these be actionable. So for us, I'm going to just talk about integrity for just a minute. This means one of 2 things. First, it means what we say is what we're going to do at BCI. If we tell you you will get something from us, you will get something from us, because our word is our bond. And that's what it means. It also means that if there is a situation, as we're working with you as dealers, that we don't think something's right for your company, we're not going to tell you to do it. We're never going to let a manufacturer pressure us to put you in a position that's a wrong position for you. We have the utmost integrity. We want you to do the right thing for your dealership, and we are never going to pressure you into doing something that's not the right fit for you. That's what integrity means for us. So I want you to take one of the core values that you wrote down, and I want you to expand that. What does it look like for you to have a core value that is actionable, that your people can get behind and say, I understand what I need to do as a result of this? Our core values are going to be unique to each dealership. This is something that you're going to have to take back and really dive into with your team and say, at the core of who we are, what is it that I'm willing to lose money or customers because of? Right? What is it that we're willing to lose money or customers because of? And that is who we are to our core. It also will give you freedom as an owner or manager, because it gives your people a guideline of what it looks like, how you make decisions personally. And it lets them understand that for themselves. So I encourage you to take time on the way home, as you're thinking about this, and really come up, what are your core values? How do you make them actionable? And then how do you communicate them to your team, right? That's the third part. If you have core values and you have a vision and it's all in your head and you have not communicated it to your team, you have wasted your time. If your team cannot tell you what it is that you are operating by, what this core structure of your operation is, you have wasted your time. It is so important that we are communicating clearly and precisely to our team about this. The other thing is that the core values and vision give us a wall or a fence that we're following. This is the Great Wall of China. And as I've understood more and more about the Great Wall of China, the purpose of the Great Wall of China was to keep the Mongolians out during battle. That was the entire purpose of why they did it, because they found that if there was a wall, if there was this barrier, people couldn't get through. Now, I'm not saying that we should have a big barrier so your customers can't get through. Sure, you'd have a whole lot of less customer issues if that was the case, but you'd have a cash flow problem too. So the Great Wall of China was created to protect the Chinese people. And the thing about the Great Wall of China is it was built over 2 centuries. So it didn't just happen overnight where they said, obviously, that they didn't say, you know what, we've got this great wall, we need protection, but it happened over 2 centuries, and over 1 million people participated in building this. And what they had done is they built these structures and they linked them all together. And that's what happens here. We are protecting our people by giving them structure to live in when we have this in our dealership. When we have our vision, when we have our core values, we are giving them a structure and a place that it is safe to operate in, and know that they're not going to get in trouble if they make a decision that's within this, right? Let's say you have someone come in for a sales, they're coming in to buy a piece of equipment from you. And you have your vision, right? We've established our vision for our sales department. And we have our core values we operate under as a company. Are they going to be in trouble, a salesperson, if they make a decision about a sale and it's in this boundary? No. You are going to celebrate that because you have provided them structure as a manager or as a coach that they can really thrive in. And that's what this does. So what materials you use to build your fence determine what kind of fence we've got. It's up to you how strict you want to be about these things, but it's up to you. So clearly a picket fence has a different connotation than a barbed wire fence or this. Are we doing this because we're trying to keep people out, right? Like, what are the things we talked about? What are the things we're willing to lose customers over? Like safety. If somebody's coming in and saying, I'm not choosing to not be safe in this situation. Sure, it's going to be more of a barbed wire fence situation. If it's more of a decorative thing, like, oh, that's sweet. Like, does that have any real value to you as a dealer if you just got a pretty little fence? It's about you deciding what it is you're letting in your dealership and letting out. And your vision and core values help do that. And this is the thing, and I think you've probably seen it time and time again. Your employees and customers will test what you've built your fence with. You know, if you've built it with stacks of hay, and it's easy to be pushed over, they're gonna push it over. They're gonna test and see how serious you are about what you've done. And I'm sure you've seen that over and over and over again with your employees. So, number one, what kind of fence are we building? Are we building one that is going to withstand the storm? That's going to withstand our people pushing over? And what's it going to look like? It's important for us to think through these different things. So, the last piece of creating a culture, we talked about our vision, we talked about core values, and now we're going to talk about our people. We've spent a lot of time up to this point about people, but this is the thing we know that is true. The best companies to work for are the best companies to do business with. Like, if you think about, Fortune always has the 100 best companies to work for. I'm sure your towns have the best company in Nashville, the best company in Kansas City, but the best companies to work for are the best ones to do business. So when you invest in your vision, when you invest in your core values, and you invest in your people, more people are going to want to come do business with you because they know that you are a place that is great to work with. One thing that I think is really interesting is how Walt Disney World does culture. They have every new employee who comes into their organization sit down and write out what an ideal customer experience would be. What does it look like for a customer to come in, someone to come to the theme park and have the best possible experience? They ask them to go from the beginning of the time that they get on the shuttle from their hotel to the time that they walk in the park to the time that they ride the rides. They ask every single one of their employees to define what that looks like. And as a result, their culture is embedded into all of their employees because they know what it looks like and what standard they're expected to have for a culture. So I just think that's a really interesting way. And ask your people. Say, as we're working through this vision together, as we're working through these core values, what does it look like for you, for a customer to come in and have an incredible experience in a service department? What does it look like for the parts department? If you could describe the perfect experience for a parts customer, what does that look like? And same for sales, same for rental. What does it look like, step by step by step, to create a great customer experience, the perfect customer experience? And that gives us something to strive towards.